I'm here with Jeff Ray, who's VP of Geographic Operations for Dassault Systems. Jeff, pleasure to have you here. And what I'd love to know is, I clearly have a very U.S.-centric understanding of what's going on right now, but innovation is very different in the different countries. What are you seeing that's taking place? What are some of the interesting trends?
There's no secret to the fact that innovation is critical. If America thought that they had an exclusive on innovation and that it was a secret that only the Americans had, or some of the Western European countries, we're kidding ourselves. The rest of the world gets it when it comes to innovation. They understand that it's through innovation that they can sustain their growth. Even in China, I spent a lot of time in Asia, China is actually losing jobs at a faster rate, those jobs being outsourced to Southeast Asia, than America saw in the last decade in jobs being outsourced to China. So they're really worried about innovation because they can no longer compete just on price, on the cost of labor. So they get it, they see it, and they're obsessed with figuring out how to drive innovation. In fact, what you see with a lot of Chinese companies now is from the state down a mandate to drive a massive amount of patent generation. Now, to this point, I don't think the patents have the same value as what we see in the Western world, but it's only a matter of time. What really counts here is that people around the world want to improve things. They want to leave things better for their children than they got from their parents. That is a universal truth, and that has everything to do with innovation.
One of the things that's happening right now is obviously with, you could call it crowdsourcing or whatever you want. So not only is it the company that's innovating, but who they're innovating with, their innovation partners, are actually being geographically dispersed.
Yes.
So now how's that changing the face of innovation? Because even if it's an American company, let's say, that's doing really innovative things, my guess is a lot of the work that's actually being done in the area of innovation is happening elsewhere.
It is. It very much is. And I think a lot of companies need to be very careful about misunderstanding what collaboration is all about. Collaboration is not about giving away your intellectual property. You can collaborate and still protect that which is special to you, that which generates your revenue and your profits. Collaboration also is not anarchy. It's not just throwing something out there and hoping and praying that someone picks up on it and does something with it. There actually is a real structure and discipline to it. But for collaboration to work, you have to respect your audience. You have to understand the role that they can contribute, and you have to communicate to them in a way that's meaningful to them.
What's the one piece of advice that you would give an organization as they start to embrace this collaboration mindset? Like you said, it can't be anarchy, so it's important for us to get that. But you can't control it, but you're also not giving away your intellectual property. What's the sweet spot? What's the one thing that you've seen that works best, that actually has this run efficiently?
I think you have to put some scope around it. You have to start with something. What I mean by that, I'll give you an example. There's a small car company in Western Europe, in Sweden, called Koenigsegg. I know them well because they're a very active user of SolidWorks and other DS products too. And they make very exotic, high-end personal sports cars. These cars do 400 kilometers an hour. They went out to the web to look for engineers who could redesign a door handle. Instead of just using what their vendors or suppliers were giving them, they wanted something a little bit more innovative. By doing that, they tapped into the community of engineers who love to fiddle with things and love to create. What they really were surprised by was not only the response and the interest of people presenting alternative ideas, but the collaboration that actually occurred between the engineers. It was very much like a design review where you have a group of people sitting around the table all looking for ways to improve the design. They were able to do that. In their case, it was all about scope. It was putting a box around it and say, we want to do this one little project. It's something that can be done out in the open community. And it's something that we can learn from without giving something away. So I think it's having that level of precision and putting a fence around it, rather than just throwing something out there and praying that something works. That's number one. And then kind of 1A is you have to have strong advocacy from the executive team. There has to be someone high up in the company who says, yes, I'm behind this, let's go ahead and test this, let's go ahead and push it. Otherwise, you will have people who will be afraid of failure, who won't push it. So they need that advocacy from someone high up who says, it's okay, let's go learn from this.
I love everybody says to think outside the box, but in fact, sometimes we just need a better box, and that's that ring fence that you talk about. So I think to me, that is a fantastic idea. Well, Jeff, I appreciate your time. This is a fantastic product. I do think that just because of the products that you develop, the world is becoming even flatter, and I think it's really exciting time, and in some respects, a little scary what we're going to see over the coming decade.
No, it's a fun space to be in.
Excellent.
Glad
Good.
you're with us.
Thanks very much.
Good.
Take
Thank
care.
you.